Hello guys, you're very welcome here back to the channels Tapa-Olho Azul and Super Acadêmico, and today we're going to continue our playlist of the book New Rules of Sociological Method by Antony Giddens. Here it is. So today we're going to the eighth number eighth episode, eighth video number 8 of the playlist, and I hope you are enjoying both channels. I think you are, because we're having a good number of views. So before I begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channels, both channels, and ring the bell for notifications if you want to, and of course share, like, subscribe, and other things, comments, make comments. So let's go continue with the third chapter, chapter number 3. The title is Order, Power, Conflict. Marx here. I know that in English language, especially in the United States, many people don't like Karl Marx, but this is a prejudice. It's a great theoretical thinker from sociology, from economy, from philosophy. So what can I say about this Order, Power, and Conflicts by Giddens, not me, by Giddens. Marxism is a movement, is a social movement, and a theoretical movement too. Dialectic between humanity and nature. The other is a dialectic of classes. So, since Karl Marx takes the concept of dialectic history, the dialectic process in history from Hegel, he sees the dialect between humanity and nature. It means that humanity transforms nature to produce the survival, and in this way he transforms we transforms itself and changes, so in that dialectic way. And there is the problem of the dialectic of classes. So the ruler class and the work class, they are in a codependent movement that produce this the dialectic movement in history, according to Marx. There is little to be found in Marx in the way of a systematic analysis or elaboration of the basic notion of praxis. Well, Giddens is saying that because there is some kind of a direction in the Marx theory about society that says that it's necessary to observe the practice of society to elaborate the theory. So the theory should happen before, after the observance, the observing the praxis. But the problem is it's not well defined, the word, the concept of praxis. He heavily discusses interests, conflicts, and power outside of the context of classes. How far these concepts relate to socialist society is left obscure. Well, the problem is that in any theory, any body theory, there is the use of some concepts that are not completely developed. So it depends of us, the readers, in the future, to do that. Marx's writings do not provide an elaborated alternative to those main traditions of social thought, whose philosophical anthropology is centered upon the concepts of value, norm, and convention. He's saying that, and has been said for by many people, that Marx lacks of social, cultural, interpretation of society. And that should be why his theory, his narrative fails in social transformation, in the whole in the transformation of a society, from a society, a capitalist society, to a socialist society, in some kind of revolutionary way. The production and reproduction of social life appears in Marxian ontology of praxis. So there's a way, is the constitution of us as human beings, that we produce and reproduce our social life, our way of life. So this reproduction is ontological of our praxis as living, as we live. The production or constitution of society is a skilled accomplishment of its members. Of course, the members of a society are the ones that enable the society with their skills. All reproduction is necessarily production. Material circumstances of human existence interchange with nature. So, the production of social life depends of this interaction with nature, and somehow. Maybe for us today it's difficult to see this relation with nature, because we are so a part of nature in a way, in the way we live in our urban life. It's not that nature is not there, but our day-to-day life is away from nature. We don't see nature in a book, in a computer. We don't see in a cell phone. We don't see nature in these things, but the nature is there because of the raw materials. Transforming the material world in order to survive. Okay, I already said that. Medium of human practical activities. The language is the medium of human practical activities. So Giddens saying that some analysis of language, of human language, is lacking too in the Marx theory about power relations, about economic relations. Language, a skill that makes sense, but not full of knowledge. So we speak our language in a way that we do not understand the full significance of what we're saying in a way of matter, because it's a natural, the natural way that we communicate. Language is not possessed by any particular speaker. The community of speakers has this possession in a way. Even so, nor the individual nor the community has the whole language. Language community, social life, reproduced in practices. So this is social communities. So I think that Giddens is trying to contribute with the social theory of Marx by adding the idea of communication, of language, of the individual participation, the way that us as individuals in a society contribute to this this way of going, even that's not denying the Marx social theory of class relations, but he's adding this question, this problem of language and communication. So next item is the production of communication as meaningful. Merleau-Ponty is a French philosopher, says that the will to speak is one and the same as the will to be understood. Agreed. But in everyday situations of interaction, the will to speak is also sometimes the will to baffle, puzzle, deceive, be misunderstood. Also agreed. So in our everyday life, we speak in a way that we want to be understood, but we also use the language to be misunderstood, to deceive, lies. As Gadamer emphasizes, we already talked about Gadamer in the early chapters. Practical social life displays ontologically the characteristics of the hermeneutic cycle. So the practice of everyday life appears in this hermeneutic cycle because we can interpret these actions. Okay, that's the way the interpretation of the sentence for make easy for you to understand too. Humor, irony, and sarcasm, all in some parts, depends upon such open possibilities of discourse as recognized elements of the skills whereby interaction is constituted as meaningful. So these aspects of language, humor, irony, sarcasm, are parts that depend of the way that we speak, and that we speak, the speech, the discourse of everyday life has this has to have the possibility of use these aspects of language. So it also need to be understood by the social scientists. Mutual knowledge is applied in the form of interpretative schemes whereby contexts of communication are created and sustained in interaction. So the interaction produces the understanding. That's the way that communication works in a community of speakers. Next item is moral orders of interaction. Durkheim, we already spoke about Durkheim in the last video, came to elaborate his original views in his later works. He nevertheless always tended to stress the significance of norms or as constraining or obligating to be approached through the notion of sanctions. So in Durkheim theory, the society imposes obligations, norms, to the individual by the threat of sanctions, of punishments. He's saying here, as I understand, that this can be re-elaborated in a way that is not only that. It's not only that. I wish to argue that all norms are both constraining and enabling. It means we are forced to follow the norm, the law, but we also learn from it. That's enabling. We can learn from the norm. Michel Foucault also says something like that. If you don't know, just look it up for him. Look. Michel Foucault is a French philosopher, social philosopher. The constitution of interaction as a moral order may be understood as the actualization of rights and the enactment of obligations. So it's following the same thought as before. When you perceive the behaviors in society, we follow rules, but also we learn from from them. Next, the actualization of external sanctions may draw upon offers of reward, or on the other hand, may hold out the threats of force. And so the sanctions that comes from away, from outside, may also offer rewards, prizes to the good behavior, to be the expected behavior. Relations of power. Two aspects about relations of power. One, the possibility of clashes of different worldviews, or less microscopically definitions of what is. 2. The possibility of clash between diverging understandings of common norms. So, in the power relations, relations of power, it's possible to have conflicts of point of views, world views, and it's possible to have conflicts of different ways of understanding the rules, the norms. So he will develop next these two aspects. I don't know if it's possible to finish the chapter today with this. I don't think so. It's too much. The video is already 15 minutes. It's too much. I think I will split into two. So we have this cliffhanger of these two aspects of power relations to the next video, and I hope you expect, enjoy, like the video, of course, comments, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and follow our others contents in the description below. So till next time, be good and bye bye.